Welcome back to the channel where seekers don't shout, they whisper. This is the Whisper File. Every episode, we peel back another layer of the hidden world. Legends, conspiracies, the strange footprints history tries to cover. Tonight, we're not just chasing myths of the forest or echoes from the moon, we're chasing something stranger. A question as old as our clocks. What if time doesn't just move forward? I believe Doc Brown said it best. If you're gonna build a time machine, why not do it with style? But style isn't enough. When the voices are real, names, dates, and phone calls that claim to come from other calendar years. Not every call comes from the present. This is episode 5, TimeTravelers, Calls from Other Calendars. We begin with one of the most famous names in time travel lore, John Titor. In 1998, Art Bell received 2 faxes from a man claiming to be a soldier from the year 2036. The messages warned of trouble, referenced Y2K, and spoke of secret missions to recover ancient computers. 2 years later, in November of 2000, the same name appeared online in forums. By January of 2001, he was writing under the handle TimeTravel_1, claiming to be living in our timeline on a mission to retrieve an IBM 5100. The details sounded oddly specific. The machine could indeed run old code that modern systems couldn't. John Titor claimed it was essential to debug programs in the future. He spoke about civil unrest in America, a second civil war, and nuclear conflict. Most of these predictions did not happen. Defenders explained that away by saying our timeline had diverged. Skeptics point to a hoax. But Titor's footprint is undeniable. The dates are exact. The names are recorded. The myths refuse to die. Art Bell himself discussed the case on Coast to Coast AM in February 2001, giving it even more oxygen. John Titor became the internet's first famous time traveler. The next story begins with a phone call. In 1995, a man who called himself Mike Marcum phoned Art Bell's program. He claimed he was building a time machine on his porch using a Jacob's ladder and lasers. He said he'd managed to send a small object forward in time. Later, reports suggested he had stolen transformers to power his device, and he was arrested. His story took on a life of its own, and in 1997 he disappeared from public view. Some fans still claim he was lost in time. Art Bell revisited his case in later broadcasts, and the legend grew. Marcum's name became shorthand for the backyard inventor who dared to tamper with the timeline. But not all time travelers come from the world of late-night radio. In 1935, Air Marshal Sir Victor Goddard flew his plane over an airfield in Scotland. What he saw made no sense. The base appeared abandoned, covered in weeds. The aircraft were painted yellow, and mechanics wore blue overalls. Details that matched no practice at the time. Years later, when the field was reactivated, those colors and uniforms appeared, exactly as Goddard described. Was it a memory, a vision, or a slip into another time? To this day, the Drem time slip remains one of the most intriguing cases of accidental time travel. Sometimes the evidence is a photograph. In 1928, during the premiere of Charlie Chaplin's film, The Circus, footage appeared to show a woman holding something to her ear that looked like a cell phone. In truth, it was almost certainly a hearing aid, which was common at the time. In another photo from 1941, a man at the reopening of South Fork Bridge looked shockingly modern with sunglasses and a logo sweater. At first glance, he looks out of place, but historians confirmed every item he wore existed in the 1940s. These images became so viral, proof to some, and clever illusions to others, the internet christened them the time-traveling hipster. Of course, if you wanted time travelers, Art Bell's show was the place to be. On July 29, 1998, Coast to Coast AM opened a phone line just for time travelers. Some called with wild claims. Others called with stories that seemed too detailed to be dismissed out of hand. And then there was the infamous night of September 11th in 1997. A frantic caller called. Claimed he had worked at Area 51 and that government forces were moving against us. The line suddenly went dead. Power outage? Technical glitch? Or something more deliberate? Later, another caller claimed it was a hoax, but the original recording still sends shivers down the spine. For many, that was Coast to Coast AM at its peak, a midnight switchboard where tomorrow might dial in today. Then there are the projects that sound like science fiction films. Al Bellick told Art Bell he had been part of the Philadelphia experiment, a Navy test in 1943 to make a ship invisible. He said the ship traveled through time and that he himself jumped forward decades. Historians called it a hoax, but Bellick repeated his story until the day he died. Andrew D. Basiago, an attorney, claimed he was a child participant in Project Pegasus, a secret government program in the late 1960s and 70s. He even said he had been teleported to Mars. Coast to Coast AM gave him airtime as late as 2018. Believers see whistleblowers, skeptics see fantasies, but the names and dates are there, carved into the archives. Urban legends complete the circle. In the 1950s, Tokyo police reportedly arrested a man with a passport from a country called Tori. The story says he vanished from his hotel room. Modern research traced it back to a real man named John Titor, arrested in 1960 for document fraud. The Torrid story is an embellished version of his case. In 2006, a Swedish man named Håkan Nordqvist uploaded a video claiming he had met his older self in the kitchen. Later, it was revealed to be a pension fund commercial. Even hoaxes can travel far when they touch our fascination with time. And finally, a touch of science with a wink. In 2009, Stephen Hawking threw a party for time travelers. Champagne, pours d'oeuvres, balloons, but he only sent the invitations out the next day. No one came. Hawking said it was proof time travel doesn't exist. Others say maybe the party was full in another timeline. Either way, it is a fitting metaphor. Time travel invites us, but no one shows up. Yet, maybe the truth is simple. Time travel stories keep coming back because we keep going forward. We long for do-overs. We wonder about what-ifs. We listen for whispers from other calendars. If you could visit one day, what would it be? This has been the Whisper Files, Episode 5, Time Travelers. Hey everyone, thanks for watching. I enjoy time traveling stories. If you did too, drop a like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know when I put out something new. Also, if you want to hear a deeper dive into any one of these stories or all of these stories, leave a comment below. Let me know what you think. Give me your opinions, and we'll see what we can dig up in the future for you. All right? See ya whenever I see you.